Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV, another game of interplanetary I Spy going on here. Back on Mars, but we're not in Gale Crater here today, particularly. We have this image, and this was brought to my attention by Martine Graney of UFA, and she posted this on a number of Facebook groups, probably a couple of weeks ago now, back on the 20th, nearly 2 weeks ago. And caught my eye immediately, this thing, and it basically looks like a bunker type house on the side of a crater was at the base of Cape Verde. Okay, now this was taken by the Opportunity rover, not the Curiosity rover, so this is thousands of miles away to the north and to the west of, I think, the Curiosity, which is in Gale Crater. Okay, so this is much further away, much more barren part of Mars here. A lot less to see, but occasionally it does come up with something. There's nowhere near as much as you will see it in Gale Crater like we have here. I'm going to also show you a couple of extra buildings and things here as well, just to show for any new subscribers out there that there are multiple structures on Mars. I'm not just showing one thing here. I'm showing on my channel hundreds of structures, dozens and dozens of clear structures for sure. There are many unclear structures, of course, because a lot of these images are out of focus. But this is quite good. This is the Opportunity rover, and if you get the image on Midnight Planets here, I'll have a link to this below. You can download this. It's not a huge file. It's only about a megabyte or so, less than a megabyte actually. It's a pretty cool image. It's pretty good quality. There's another one here which is next to it. If I give you this main link, you can just kind of click on these previous and next buttons here to look through the whole set, and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of these structures in this crater which kind of look like they're intelligent structures that have been ruined and are many millions or at least tens of thousands of years old, perhaps, that have been eroded, okay? Destroyed, eroded in one way or another, okay? So full credit to Martine for this. I will put a link below to her picture here that she's done, and she's got an insert there with the enhanced insert and the structures at the back there on the raw image, which is cool. And I don't think she found it in the 2008. I think that's when the image was posted. That's the date of the image, okay? The original image. This is a recent posting. Well, I haven't seen it before, so full credit to her. Check out her Facebook group, Martian Genesis, okay? There'll be a link below. It's a really cool page. She does some great work, actually, Martine. I'll just show you the top of the page anyway. She's got some really nice. Is it going to let me scroll up? There we go. Martian Genesis. Here we go. Public group. So you can just come on here and post stuff, and it also reminded me of this find that she published a while back. I also made a video about this one as well, which I've got up here, which is a really cool find. So I'll come back to that in a second, but let's concentrate for now on this and this bunker-like structure here. Okay, I have a folder here I've already done some clips to save time. I'll show you the raw image first. Okay, this one is the main one I looked at. Just look at the top of the image, and we have a ridge line here, a crater, not a massive crater like Gale Crater is, much smaller. And we have some interesting structures. Now this is completely raw, I've done nothing to this. We have a bunker-like structure here with some very straight edges to it there. We have a curved one here with a nice semicircular curve to it, and what looks like a window and a door. And we have a ruined structure here with some square and rectilinear parts to it, rectangular uprights to it, okay? Now, to me, this looks very much like a set of bunkers, or perhaps these are actual Martian houses up close we're looking at here, that are ruined and many thousands of years old. It's hard to say in a black and white image whether this is all the same colour. I expect some of these rocks are quite bright on top. You can see some of the lighter rocks up here, and you've got some pretty cool shadows here giving away the shapes of these things. You've got a window and a possible door, and this is a really nice semicircular shape. In fact, there are many houses on Earth that are built into the side of hills and stuff like that. It makes absolute sense, especially if you were to live on a planet like Mars, where you've got huge, massive volcanoes like Olympus Mons that could explode and practically destroy the planet at any moment, you know, or at least destroy the atmosphere for a while. It makes sense to build into the rock like we have here. Okay, so there we have it. There's the bunker there, by the looks of it. Sorry, I'll try not to click on that because that's getting in the way. Bunker there. Another one here with a door and a window. Now, this looks like it's been concreted up. I don't know, but who's to say? And then we have some very clear rectangular structures here. Okay, very nice. Really cool image, this one. I'm going to flick through the close-ups for you, and there will be clips of these at the end of the video anyway, so you can really have a proper look. I'm just going to show you a couple of them now. Let's go with that one to start with. I'm just going to flick through these. That's the raw clip. There's the enhanced clip. Now you can see that window, kind of square shape here and a door here. And even in the raw image, I mean, it's there. You really don't have to do anything. All I've done is really added a bit of contrast and the color filter there just to push it out a bit for you, so you can see it on your mobile device. And there's that one up here, that other structure there. Okay, dusk gone in really bright there just to bring it out to you. Okay, another one again in blue for those of you who are colorblind and prefer to see things in blues. Okay, really clear. Okay, square window, door. Okay, and there's the brown filter. So there we have it. I mean, what can I say? Let me show you a close-up of that. It doesn't get a lot clearer when you go in real close, because obviously the image quality when you zoom in tends to go down because it starts to pixelate. Okay, but we'll show it up close anyway. There we are. Added a bit of contrast. Color filter. Look at these details. I mean, it's got a plinth there, like at the top of the door, you know, like a straight piece there, and a door-like structure here. It's in shadow. You've got this line going across it, and that looks like a window. Now, I'm not saying that it's made of glass. Don't know. This could have been boarded up or concreted up thousands of years ago by somebody. Absolutely insane. There it is, blue, nice and bright, and that kind of really brings out the shapes there. Okay. And there it is further back. Okay, we've already seen those. Okay, well there we have it. Interesting one this. Let me show you actually bit further along in this image, because that shows the other structures here. I'll do clips of these and put these at the end. There's that other straighter edged bunker shaped structure. There's something weird going on here with very flat parts at the top here, like a pillar, and some kind of interesting stonework with parts to it there. Look like cut stone blocks, some of these. There's some kind of arch, almost like an archway thing here. I'll take clips of these and put them in at the end for you, because I haven't gone over this properly yet, all of this, because actually I'm seeing more stuff in here. I'll take some clips of these and stick them in at the end. I'm just going to quickly show you, for those who think that I'm making all this up, I do get trolled heavily by people who claim to be debunkers, or basically just trolls most of the time, who claim there's nothing on Mars, it's all just rocks. Well, there is this image on this video. This is one of my previous ones from a couple of years ago now, a year and a half ago. Mars Huge Pyramid, giant ziggurat. And this is one of my favourite images. I'm just going to show you a bit of this, because there are multiple structures on Mars, and anyone who says there aren't haven't looked at the images properly. I've probably looked at well over 1 million Mars images so far, most of them from the Curiosity and the Opportunity, but also thousands and thousands from the MRO, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and all the other missions like the Odyssey and all the other missions that you've been getting over the last 20 or 30 years. above Mars as well. So lots of satellite images. And here we have this pyramid ziggurat-like structure. In fact, it looks better when you see it further back. Let's go back a little bit. I've gone a bit too close there. There's the raw image. That's the enhanced clip. I think I'm zoomed in too far. Let me zoom back out. There we are. And that is clearly a straight structure behind what looks like a partially collapsed ziggurat. And we have uprights in here. We have some pretty good detail here. We have uprights in here. There are even buildings all around here, but this is miles and miles away from the rover. This is actually taken from about 5 miles away and zoomed in, okay? So, and you can see these square and rectangular structures in the image quite clearly, with the minimal amount of contrast added there. You really don't need to do a lot to some of these images, but we do often get quite poor quality images, especially of Mount Sharp. I mean, this is something similar on Earth. Let's go back to that, okay? You've got these. I've got approximate size here, 800 to 1,000 feet tall. It's probably something like nearer 800, I'd say, but it's so far away that it's impossible to say exactly, unless you know the exact distance, you don't know. And they only give us an approximate distance, really. And here's that other structure that Martine found about a year or so ago. I did a very short video, Mars House Alien City Structure at The Forge. Okay, this was about, it was April 2000, yeah, almost a year ago. Another great find by Martine, absolutely brilliant. There's some very old stuff going on here, and also there seems to be another kind of bunker-like structure here. Now, of course, a lot of people claim, oh, these are just natural rocks, these are just eroded rocks. No, they're not. The problem is, when you have hugely eroded ruins, they do tend to look like normal rocks because they're actually made of rock. But a lot of these structures are actually built into the side of the mountain and then look kind of natural until you get up close and see, in fact, that they have windows and doors and things like that. Let's play this through a little bit. And this is a perfectly good example of that. And this is on the edge of this part of Mount Sharp in Gale Crater. And this is clearly an intelligent structure of some sort. Now, I estimate this to be over 100 foot tall because this is also about 2 miles away from the rover, possibly 3, about 2 or 2.5, 3 or 4 kilometres. So you don't see any great detail there, but when you do enhance it, there does seem to be like windows and a kind of sloping part. But there's something next to it here, which looks like it's been obscured by NASA. The image really does look like it's been scrubbed, and a lot of the detail is missing here. So I actually think this is part of a larger structure that's been obfuscated and deliberately scrubbed out by someone at JPL who didn't really want us to see it, but they left enough in for us to see something, because some of this looks like it's joined on to the background. So I really do think that some of the background, parts of the background that we see in some of these images from NASA have been altered, and there's lots of evidence for that. And if you want to see more evidence for buildings on Mars, especially in Gale Crater, there's this recent playlist I've done. This is Top 20 Mars Buildings, Ancient Alien Ruins, ArtAlienTV. This is a recent one I put together, so it's not had that many views. But I thought I'd just put the really top images of Mars buildings in one place for you, instead of having massive long playlists with like 100 videos. There's some really cool stuff in here, and you cannot tell me, nobody can tell me that there aren't buildings on Mars, because there are. And when you've looked through millions of images like I have, and a lot of other researchers have seen and found intelligent structures on Mars. The recent one is the fortified house that I published. The Golden Mansion, that's an aerial shot. City ruins, that's actually a video I did a couple of years ago, but that got in all the newspapers a while ago. I didn't get credited for that for some reason, but there you go. And there's the pyramid, there's the domes and houses and towers, the 3 towers, which are perfectly the same size and perfectly spaced apart, hundreds of meters apart, exactly the same distance apart, which is impossible in nature. You have these buildings here, which kind of look like bunkers as well, Mars buildings, city structures, and some of the little pyramids and very interesting structures in there. I mean, there's the forge again. There's a huge tower monolith. I found that a few years ago in a high-rise image. So some of these are satellite images. So I mean, I could go on and on here, but these are my top 20 anyway. And I think this one will go in this top 20 somewhere, so I'm going to have to boot one of these out. Don't know which one that would be. And of course there's the giant sphinx and all that. And for those of you that like to see statues and heads and skulls and that kind of thing, we have all these in my new clip art, my channel art banner here. So these are all in Gale Crater, apart from this guy who is actually was photographed near this bunker that I'm showing you right now. This one, okay, not this one, sorry, this one, okay. Basically, this guy was photographed by the Opportunity rover, and this head is just lying on the edge of a ridge, not that far from the building we're looking at now, okay? So the evidence is mounting up. There's a lot of people out there who don't like the evidence, a lot of people try to dismiss the evidence, but they don't have any contrary evidence. And until they do have any contrary evidence, I shall carry on publishing pictures of structures and skulls and other things like animal remains and statue heads and, well, some of them not just heads but actual statues on Mars. Here's Martine's original clip of that house. She's actually reposted it today, I think, on her site. Okay, so that kind of reminded me to put this in, because it is an interesting structure, and it does help if you see it from further back in the Gigapan. So if you want to check out any of my stuff, if you're a new subscriber or a new viewer and you haven't seen my channel before, every video I publish has a detailed description underneath with a link to the original NASA image, okay? That often will be a single image or a Gigapan also, like we have here, to show you the whole area in context. This gives you an idea of how far away it is. In fact, this ridgeline here is 1 kilometre away, and that's another kilometre behind it, so it's at least 2 kilometres away. So that gives you an idea. So this must be very tall. About 100 feet, I'd say, 80 or 100 feet. Possibly 150, don't know. So there we have it. The bunkers of Mars, habitats, houses, towers, huge pyramid-type ziggurat structures. There are multiple buildings on Mars. And anyone who says there aren't simply hasn't looked at the images properly and hasn't done enough research. Okay? Thank you for watching, everybody. Credit to Martine again for both these brilliant finds. She does a fantastic job. Check out Martian Genesis. Great page to look at. Give her the thumbs up. She does a lot of work for us at UFA and finds some of the best anomalies, and does some great enhancements and finds some really interesting stuff. And there's also lots of other stuff here you might want to see. A lot of them are just rocks, but a lot of them aren't. So there we go, and the fun is finding out which are which. When you're hunting for fossils, I used to go fossil hunting when I was a kid with a mate of mine called Tim, and we used to go to places like this in the West Country, not Mars, but areas where you had lots of rocks and stuff lying around. We used to just go around, you had to look at 100 rocks before you found a fossil. So don't expect everything to be a building, don't expect everything to be a skull, don't expect everything to be a statue, because they're not. Most of these, 99% of them are not. But occasionally you get a building or a bunker-like thing here, and occasionally you would get something like one of these, like even a possible person, or a skull like we have here. That was found by James Tracy. And you have beautiful looking statue heads like this kind of Aztec or Olmec looking one here, and there's a strange scary looking one here. This is that's Olmec here, this one with the big ear and the eye and the nose and the mouth. That's almost round and very much larger than all of these. This one here, in fact, is about 3 foot high, 2 or 3 foot high. So that's a big head. So the body, if there was a body for this, would have been very big indeed. How big would that be? Probably 10, 15 foot tall or something, I don't know. So there we have it. I mean, the evidence is mounting, guys, and there are lots of skeptics out there, and that's fair enough. But when you see the evidence coming together, I will be doing some more compilation videos coming up soon as well. Let's go back to my video manager and I'll show you. Because that really puts things in a sort of easier format for people to look at. Because a lot of my playlists are very large, and you could spend days and days running through these playlists to actually look at these things. So check out, if you haven't already, Gods on Mars Part 2, Martian Statue Art Collection. That's got all my favourite statues in there. There's 26 in there. One or two of them may not be, may just be random rocks, but I think at least 20 of them are absolutely three-dimensional, carved by intelligent beings. They are real, they are statues, they are not tricks of the light, because they can be seen in multiple images on different days, different years, different months, different cameras on the rover. So a lot of these are real. People are having a bit of a hard time with it. I've sent them to the press will not publish them. For some reason, they seem to be scared of them. Either that or they're suppressing them. And then you have this little statue figure here, which I published on the 16th, which is a cool little dude who looks like a little miniature guy, about, well, certainly less than about 7 or 8 inches, about 6 inches tall. Maybe a carved statue, that little guy. And he seems to be holding a white object, which kind of looks like a tablet or a little plate or some kind of weird thing. Hard to say what it is. He's holding something. So check him out. So evidence is mounting, guys. What can I say? Thank you to Martine Graney yet again for her brilliant work and helping us all find and see the true Mars. Okay. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.